Hello. Hello, hello. So, I have made this binding generator for making bindings for C libraries. Odin bindings for C libraries. Hello, Spying Wind. And yeah, it's a fairly simple binding. Like there are some other binding generators available for Odin and other ways to make them, but this one I tried to make it easy to get going with, and it's simple enough that it just is essentially this one file, and it just uses clang to output an ast, and then an AST. What does it stand for now again? AST. Forgot. It's a what's called abstract syntax tree. Yes, that's how good I am at compilers. Yeah, it just outputs like a big JSON blob of how the program is, the header you give it is, looks and stuff, and then it outputs some bindings. So, yeah. Hello Lamatos. Hello Andreas. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Nobody special. Welcome. Yeah, so what this thing does is essentially, I have some examples in here. I have all this crap also. So here, for example, I can take this is the raylib header. The C header looks like this, blah 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 blah, you know, all this stuff. And it outputs bindings that look like this. And I try to make like bring along comments and try to make everything look a bit orderly. You see there's like this little padding here, and it sort of figures out the minimum distance it needs to put the comment on a nice column like this. Like it looks a bit similar to, we can find the image maybe somewhere here. Here, you know, it looks similar to this, kinda. But in Odin, since the name and type is reversed from C, you can put many times, at least in bindings, since it's so, like, I don't do this much in my own code. I don't in my own code put things in a column like this, but since the bindings don't change that much, I thought the generator could do that. So it adds this padding. So it just puts the types on a column, and then it puts all the comments on a column. But this is like, you know, you see it does it here as well, but it hasn't taken this spacing here. You see it's a different spacing. It has calculated it, like what's the maximum length of the fields, and then it tries to put that in there. And it can also, like, you can, like, if you had, for example, I wonder what happens if we put this one in front. These are kind of funny things that could, you see, so that one then jumps down, then it gets, yeah, maybe it can get a bit confused. Like usually you either do this comment style or that one, you don't mix them that much, so it can look a bit weird. But yeah, so it does all that. And one thing I like that it does is that I can bit setify things, because in C often you have, yeah, the spacing in the C one makes sure that it looks like it aligns with different structs, but when you come further down, like here, you know, it doesn't anymore. So it's just, to me it's not super important, but you sort of have to, since it's done automatically, you have to choose something that kind of works in all cases. One thing I like that it does is that I can bit setify things. I think the config flags is a good example. So you see the config flags looks like this. I should maybe bring along the formatting here, but it's not super important. But you see it has, this one is, it has taken the log2 of it. So what is this in 2 to the power? This is 4. Like resizable is 4. This is in hex. So, but resizable is 4. But if you want to use it in a bit set, then the value of it should be 2. This one is 8, but if you use it in a bit set, then the value should be 3. Because it's sort of just which bit number it is representing. So what it does is that when it, I can in the config of it bind gen. So each binding has a little config, and then in here I can say somewhere here bit setify config flag is okay. First I rename config flags to config flags. So you see this one is just called config flag. So I renamed it because I want the plural to be for the bit set. So then I say bit setify this one, this enum with this bit set name. And then it goes through all these and takes the second logarithm of that, so that it, 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2 is 4. So that's why this one is 4. So the second logarithm of this is 2, and 2 to the power of 8, 2 to the power of 3 is 8. So that's why. So it has to sort of, it does that reversely. It reverses that process, and then it outputs these config flags in bit set. So all that stuff is nice to have, because that's one thing that when you make bindings manually, you tend to want that kind of right. And yeah, it tries to also like do group, like if there's a comment like this, it tries to start a new group of things so that you see the padding here is sort of reset for each group, which I think is sort of done like that in the official bindings as well. I don't say that this is not for use for, like, I did already very good Rayleigh bindings. I'm just using this as a proof of concept sort of. But you see it sort of resets for each group, because that it just looks better than if all the procedures were aligned in a column and then one is an outlier, then yeah, it would look totally messed up. Anyways, that's just what it does. And it does that, it does all this by you running the binding generator, and you feed it this folder here, and in the folder either it looks for headers or a bindgen.sjson file, and this file just like, okay, which folder should we grab headers from, what's the output folder. You can also supply an Odin file that specifies the imports, which means the stuff up here, because that's not something you can really generate, like exactly how should the import part look. So the imports, what Odin in this case looks like this. This stuff is here because they are defined using macros, and macros don't really generate into Odin code, so that's specified separately. Then you can also make things into what's it called, multi-pointers, hello smilex, and also you can make things into by pointer on procedure parameters if you need, and you can override types and stuff from pointer. I'm attacking this from like, the first thing is that the binding should look nice. Then I add usability things, so that like, okay, you need to be able to override types and blah blah. But I think like if it might sound weird, but one of the most important things for a binding generator, I think, is that it makes bindings that look nice, because otherwise, when you have, like, if they don't bring along the comments and it doesn't, like, it just looks like a bit disorderly, then even if you want to like use that as a basis for making like for handmade, like if you want to handmade bindings and you generate this and then it's all a bit messy, then it's not a good start for your handmade bindings anyway. So I think this is, even if you have to make some fixes afterwards, is a good start for the handmade bindings. But I'm trying to also make it so that in some cases you can actually kind of take it all the way with these bindings. And you can also put in Odin files inside the inputs folder. So if you want to have a file with like my little binding fix-ups, then you could probably put them in that Odin file. Lamatoast asks, are there any specific C libraries you want to support? I made this because I wanted this PDF library. I wanted to try it from Odin, and it was so I didn't want to make bindings because, well, I wanted to be able to quickly try a few different ones. That's the problem. Like, if I know that I want to use a specific library, then I can make bindings for that. But if I'm like, okay, I don't know which of these 3 I want, then I want to, you know, quickly try different ones. So that's why I started making it. I think that's a use case that some people might be like, oh, you don't need a binding generator because you just make the bindings and then you use it. Like you do it once. I'm like, yeah, but what if I'm experimenting and like want to try, like I could do it in C, but I don't like programming C much anymore. So I want to use the C library from Odin. So that's sort of why I made it. So to test the PDF IO. I have also come to the conclusion that maybe I'm not going to use this. I'm going to try another PDF lib called Haru, I think. Okay, whatever. We have... I was going to just fix some bugs here, essentially. That's what I'm going to do. So I saw this bug from someone. And it's just a little bug with how comments are brought along. And I was thinking we should fix that. So it seems like it... I see the problem here. You see these comments here are broken because it starts twice with this and then it only ends once. Let's see how we can try to fix that. What we can do is we can take the raylib header and we can just put in some comments like that and then run the builder over and over until we fix it. Right. Rectangle 4. Okay, let's try this. Let's just copy this person's... I think I have a scrap header here, yeah. This we can probably put as void. Like that, and then we run the scrap generator. And then we do open scrap.odin. What we see here is that it made a foreign lib block here, and then it struggled a bit with the comments. So let's try to fix that. So why is this on the first column? There's a bit of different things wrong here. Right. So I think this is just because, so when the binding generator is just like for 1.4k lines of Odin, I could maybe split it up into different files, but I haven't done that. And here it formats this outputs the procedures, and you see it's essentially it's like, oh, here it prints proc and blah blah blah. Right. Is it this thing that outputs it? Yes, so it's a header comment. Header comment means that it sort of tries to put them in group, like in raylib. The raylib bindings you have like this. This is a header comment because the things after it are like a group. It's essentially that it's a comment before a procedure instead of to the right of it. Like this is a side comment and it's sort of a header comment or whatever you want to call them. But I think it's just a bug in this procedure here. I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna go into... Wait, does this scrap.h, does it have a... Yes, there's a bindgen file here. Oh yeah, it already dumps the... So I can dump the JSON syntax tree here. So this is this is what clang, clangs, clangedang outputs. It's just a bunch of JSON that describes the whole header. Hello Giuseppe. And what you can do if you're confused about anything, you can be like return a blah blah blah, and you look at the comment here. Actually, I don't really take the comments from this, because instead I take them from the source code using the offsets in here, because, well, do I really have a good reason for, maybe, well, let's see here, should be called blah 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 RCL block command comment paragraph block command comment what's a block command comment zero term is it because it has a return like that? That's why I don't really use these. I copy it from the source instead, because it's a bit messy like this, but or do I? Wait, don't I? Maybe I'm talking crap. Output comment. Comment. Where does it d.comment? I think it's this thing. No, earlier. It's a bit annoying that it let me show something here. So it has full comment here, and then it says offset, or rather it says begin here and end here. I don't want to I want to copy the comment straight out of the I think I want to copy them straight out of the source, because it sort of does all this weird processing of it that I don't like. It just like removes which type of comment it is and puts these kinds on it, but then it sometimes misses stuff. Oh, there it actually says, okay, so block command comment return. Okay, but that would need a whole little parser for this stuff. I'm not interested actually in, I just want to bring the comments along exactly like they are, because C comments translate perfectly to Odin. Like there's no problem. Odin comments might not translate to C because it supports nested block comments, but so anyways, the main problem here is that what it returns, what I get is this. So it has sort of lost the stuff in front here. And then I try to guess what to put in front. But maybe what I'm thinking here is maybe I can just backtrack in the source and find this thing. Well, it was free, wasn't it? Doesn't really matter. I can backtrack in the source and find the slashes on the same line. Bring those along. Then it wouldn't, like, because sometimes, I don't like this guessing thing. I would just like to be like, all the way from here, from this point to this point is just comments. So you just copy all of it. The annoying thing is like when you have comments like this, then well, that also works, I guess. Well, we can try some different stuff, because one other thing that might happen is like, you know, something like this, where there's a comment like this, like that, and then starts a new one like that. I mean, this will probably be broken in the same way. Now this one actually comes out okay, because it gets confused here. Maybe all I need to do is the following. Maybe all I need to do is there's some funny hacks here. This is the code that outputs the comment, and it's sort of like, hey, does it have a slash? Is it the first one? Does it have a slash? What I can do instead is just is multi-single line. Why do I do this? Is multi-single line. Hello, Chimeses. Thank you for buying my book. Thanks for reading it. No, I have not tried STL3. I haven't really used STL too much either. It's I've done Raylib things, and then I've done some stuff in Sokol. And I guess STL ends up sort of in between those two a bit, somehow. Now it has the sort of GPU stuff, which I guess is similar to what Sokol does, but I haven't tried it. Hello, Shovik and Koranar. Is multi-single line. So multi-single line is multiple lines starting with, okay. Yeah, STL does a bit of everything. But it's, people are often like, oh, what's the difference between STL and Raylib and Sokol? And main thing is that they're on different levels of like Raylib is the most high level, and I guess Sokol used to be more low level than STL, because it only had the GPU stuff and no like sprite drawing stuff. But now that STL does both the sort of texture or whatever drawing stuff, plus has some more low level API abstraction, then I guess they're a bit more similar now. I think one thing that with STL is that some people use Sokol, but they find the application layer, like processing of events and stuff, not like they find that some stuff is missing. So what they do is they use STL for like opening the window and processing keyboard input, and then they use Sokol for the rendering. But now that STL has the GPU API, maybe people will just do everything in STL instead. But how Sokol handles shaders is extremely elegant, so I don't know. But I haven't tried STL, so I don't know how it does that stuff. Let's try to fix this ugly code. Is multi-single line. Why would that matter? Can I just rewrite this maybe? I think instead of all this stuff, What does the AST actually contain? What does it say? If we look at the comment, blah, 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 blah. Full comment, so it's this one. It starts at offset 33. I mean, this is including line breaks and stuff. This is sort of the byte offset. Oh, it would be super nice to have, like, you could be able to click a point in a file and it says down here which byte offset it has. Because then you could compare stuff like this. I wonder if like a... Because it's hard to know what offset here means compared to here. Anyways, I know it sort of starts here. And it ends at line 11, column 40. It's really weird, this whole thing with how it... Guys, it starts here and then it goes all the way to there. But I'm like, yeah, but there's funny stuff. Like, why would it... Why would it do it that way? Wouldn't it be better if it just gave me from here to here? Since it's still gonna include these funny things inside. Like it includes this. But it essentially gives me this. Which is very unhelpful. Can't I just... So what this thing does is, like whenever like if I put an enter here, then I think one of the comments will disappear. Yes, that one disappears. So what it essentially is doing is that, let's see, if I put some spaces here, does it still? Yes. If I put some spaces here, does it still? Yes. Okay. So what Clang is doing is that it's any comment that is sort of bunched up like this, it will just say that all this is one comment, and it sort of starts here and goes until here. So what I'm thinking instead is that whenever it says, oh, it's a comment, then we will backtrack to find the earliest pair of slashes on the line, or if it's a thing like this, and then we will go forward and take everything, like, so it just brings along the whole comment just like it is, to make a little mini comment parser. I think that would be much better. Let's try to do that. So this one says get comment with line. You see, this takes from the beginning offset to the end offset. It also fetches which line it is on. And that's just for when they appear on the side. And actually this could use, this thing here could use comment equals get comment vs or return, and then we can remove these two. Hello UI wizard, who was looking for a generator that worked with latest Odin. Thank you. There is also the generator called Runic. You can try that one if you want. I think it works. It just has a different philosophy, I guess, than what I'm trying to do. It more feels like it generates an intermediate representation and tries to output stuff, but okay, you tried it. Okay. Was it what was hard? Was it just hard to get? Was it hard to get started with? Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it looks like it tries to solve things in a very, how to say, it's trying to solve things in a very correct way, but that comes at a cost of being hard to get started with. And it also tries to convert everything into sort of an intermediate format where when you describe sort of like exceptions in the bindings, you have to do it in a sort of abstract way. You can't just like override this thing to this Odin code because it needs to think in an abstract way because it can output the different languages. So, you know, abstractions becoming can make it harder sometimes. Anyways, but no hate on that project. It's just a different use case, I think. Right. I hate this procedure is so ugly. I'm just like, ugh, because I need to. I'm gonna do this. This is. I know some people were trying to, like, I know Bill was trying to fix this once, so how you can reuse some variables and some are new because you have this thing, and like I can't assign to this because it's the wrong type, so I need to cast it, but I can't cast two things, so I just need to because I can't just do this. So since I can't do that, I need an intermediate variable, because it's okay that the line, like I don't want to use or return here because it's okay that the line is not there. So then I'm like, okay, that means that I must have, this mic is in my face. That means that I must have line I64, but then I can't assign to that one, so then it becomes like, I guess, okay, the fix is actually this. The fix is to do like this. And then you assign both. And then you just say return comment int line I64 line okay true. Now I could of course just do like this. And then do line e. There is something off with these things sometimes where it becomes a bit not so pretty. Because now I'm like, no, not line of code. This is just okay here. So now it's like, okay, this, because I wanted, now it's almost like, okay, maybe I should just not use or return here and just be like comment, okay, if not, okay. Well, it doesn't really matter, actually. I can just do like that, I think. Because this one I can't use or return on. Anyways. I guess something like this is that, like I could do this. It just it's just not very pretty. whatever you do when you end up in a case where you need to cast something before returning a something. I guess I could make a version of this that casts it for me. But anyways. Maybe the signature is a bit weird because it has so many return values and blah, 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 blah. That was not what we were doing. We were gonna fix this, get comment. Okay, so the comment starts here. Okay, how does that C comment start? The thing before it must be... So, okay, what we can do here is this. We know that the comment, this is Odin code, scrap.o.h. Yeah, it's not common. Yeah, it's just that it's okay. Like I added this stuff afterwards, so it's actually supposed to be like this is okay, and then there is some extra stuff that can come along, which is that the line, there's also a line. So that's why, yeah. So what we can do here is we can scan. If we know that it will say that the comment is all this. So we can use that information and we can scan backwards. So we say that it begins there. And then we say, we can say that the end is that, but we can modify this end and begin a bit. Fuck, this is gonna mess up. I'm gonna have to remove from all comments. And that's fine. Okay. So we need to find the start. So we do like we search backwards, I think. And then, no, I did a not so much Odin there. And then we do something like if s.source begin plus begin blah, blah, blah. No, idx I mean. If this slice is equal to // we need to find the first one, because in this case we want triple slash, so we want these two, not these two. We're gonna call this, we can just do this actually, begin equals idx, I think. Now it will of course scan backwards, and it might go, like if it comes to a line break, then it needs to stop. It needs to break. And then I know that it's, well, I can't be, I can almost be 100% sure that this is gonna work. It might not work at the start if it's a comment at the end of the file like that. Oh, this is wrong. IDX, I mean. And index is... So we do something like this. And then we have now our, we know where it starts, kinda. Then we can say if current equals slash, then we know it begins there as well. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit annoying, I think. Because now if we go here, oh, I meant like that. Or like that, I mean. Because I'm gonna I've used the index down here. So now we see that it did some funny stuff. How does that? So now it brought along these, like it should. And if we, for example, run the Rayleigh builder now, then you see it has sort of done this, right? So that means that, wait, what are these guys over here doing? Oh yeah, I know why. Those I parse manually in another place. So maybe if I just make all the comments, then when you output the comment, so this is going to simplify this code a lot. I can just take the whole comment and just like blah it out. I don't even need this. Let's do it on the function, because like I said, C comments work in Odin. Like, as far as I don't think I can think of any exception to that. So let's just pull them over exactly like they are and not try to be smart about it. So we just, this FP here is just fmt.print fprintf or fprint. Let's just try doing that. Let's do it in our scrap first, because there are some other cases that are broken in Odin. So now this looks correct for the start. It looks the same. It hasn't grabbed the end yet, because I need to scan forward as well. So I only need to scan forward. In what case? This is because it already knows it ends here, but I need to know if it starts a block comment here. So essentially, this end thing I can barely use. I just need to find a start and then start scanning forward. You scan, scan, scan. If you run into one of these things, then you start a block thingy, and then you must scan until it ends. Alright, so we can just remove end, I think, and make our own end. So then we say that like for then we just loop from the start, and we say if, and then we do this thing again, right? And then we say well, we can also do like something nicer like this, maybe switch cur case. But the funny thing here is that when you do stuff like this, you need to be okay with just throwing everything away and starting over if it seems like a bad idea. So I think that's something that that didn't help much, whatever. It's not like when you do things on your own, just sitting at your computer, then you should be okay with just, if you think it's a mess, then you start over. If you're doing it on stream, it might be even harder, because you're like, oh no, people have been watching me doing this. But just start over if it's now we need to skip to the end of the line, sort of. Well, we know we are at one of those things. Okay, we do something like this. Inside block is false. If it's that, we don't really care. If, okay, we do something like this. If cur equals slash blah blah blah, then we say inside block equals true. When we're inside a block, we must scan. So we find a line break. well, no, not like that. S.source. If we find a line break, if not inside the block, then the only thing we need to check is, because again, we must sort of make sure to adhere to the Clang AST parser, blah, blah, the rules that the Clang parser has outputted into this AST. So the rule it has is that all this stuff in the header here is one comment that runs from here to here. So we need to be like, okay, if we are on a comment that has double slash and we get a new line, the comment might end, but we need to go to on a bit and check, like on the next line, if the trimmed string, if we skip all white space, what is there? Is it another comment? In that case, we continue, or is it one of these? Then we go into a block. But if it's anything else, then we stop. It's a bit. It is, I guess, a bit risky. So I could just fetch the end. The end that Clang says is here. But then I don't know. Well, wait a minute. Couldn't I just fetch that? I think I have a better idea here. I just fetch. Yeah, I have a. I wouldn't call it a hack, but since I know how Clang behaves, I can follow those rules. So I have my whole string here, right? So it's something like this. And then I can check like this. If strings contains, see if it contains one of these. Ah, wait, I don't know. Can I count? Haha. Okay. It's not. Hello, Kiffin. I guess. Yeah, I think I'll just scan forward instead. So I do something like I was doing, but I don't do it exactly like that. Oh, I will undo the for IDX in end to slen s source. So now we're scanning from, we're sort of standing here. We want to scan forward. Just removing 2 from this because we need to check for things that are too long. Maybe I can just... It would be nicer. Like, I know the things I'm looking for are just single byte characters, so I don't need to iterate it by runes, but maybe that would be nice. What does this one do, by the way? Lots of funny things. Yeah, it reads C code and outputs. Like, it just reads headers, but it uses the clang ast stuff to generate stuff. Like, so it processes the header using the clang compiler, and that outputs abstract syntax tree. But right now I'm just trying to hack around some stuff related to comments. I just don't like how it outputs comments. I can double check here that I'm not wrong with how it does stuff. Maybe I should try making some Allegro bindings, because people is the header simple? Is it just a folder of headers? I can try doing that after this. See if I can make some bindings for that. It's always fun to try some different projects. I just need to scan forward here, but I'm just a bit stumped because I'm scanning byte index by byte index, but I kind of want to scan it. Like, I am here. I know I start there, and I want to start scanning from there with runes. So I have UTF-8. I can use the UTF-8 stuff. Is there a way to iterate? I know I can do this for, like, this will give me, but this will give me iterate through the string using runes. I kind of guess it's a bit of a funny problem where I need to, because this gives me the byte index. I could just skip until I get there, and I guess that might be the only way to do it, actually. It's a funny problem. I'm like, oh, I just want to scan forward, but I want to check using runes, but I don't want to iterate from the start. Because I can just scan forward and see if I find one of these. It must be on the... Wait, what happens if I do this? Not like that. Like this. Oh, yeah. I guess I should. It's a bit dangerous to rely too much on what it's a bit dangerous to rely too much on what Clang is doing. Yeah, it's just gonna be easier to, if I think, scan manually. Kiffin says regular expression, perhaps. I almost never use regular expressions. It's usually easier to scan something and do a quick parse of it, because at least because you have some programmatic rules along the way, like how things behave. So let's just return to what we're doing there. We just do end is begin, and for idx is begin to less than len s.source -2, and then we check if current equals we do the same stuff like this, blah blah blah. If current is like this, then we just skip, well, then we just go on. It doesn't. Oh yeah, we do like this inside block. This is what we're doing before, but block equals true. So if we are on a new line, then we need to scan and find either this or this. If we find any, it's the same problem. I want to check like for all these different UTF-8 space characters. What was this? Oh, why was this harder than I thought it would be? Funny problem. I mean, it's a bit hard because I need to follow whatever Clang was doing. That's part of the problem. Maybe I give up on. I mean, there is a quick fix for this. So the original bug was this stuff, right? That it did this. I could just check. Well, I guess it has the same sort of problem. I guess space is ASCII space. Ah, now I know. Now I know exactly what we're gonna do. I know now. We're gonna do like this. We're gonna say so we start at begin. We do the full thing. We call this the end iter, and then we say for L in strings.line iterator. Write that. And then we can say, we can call this LL, and we can say L is strings.trim space LL. Now, so now we have, what we have here is a string that contains the whole thing. We're just gonna search line by line forward. If L dot has prefix / continue, just go on. No, not L. If strings dot has prefix L. If strings dot has prefix L like that, then we say inside block. I'm gonna remove the code below soon. Like that. We're inside a block. We can just do this actually. Else if blah 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 else. So if the string didn't have this prefix, it didn't have this prefix. What's wrong with this? If not inside block break, because then the line didn't start with slash or this thing. Wait, we need also to I guess the annoying thing is that okay, otherwise we need to scan for C in L if that Oh yeah, I don't set the end, that's why. Is end then equals to... How do I... Now my current problem is that I have... Now I need to know the byte index of where I am at this point. Well, that's... Never be happy with this. Like now I'm like, okay, I am here. I mean, I can construct a string and just put things on it. I know I can do that. It's just that it's annoying to do that when you know you have a string and just indices and you just need to pick from here to here. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. There's all kind of weird hacks you could do where you could be like, okay, I could keep a counter of the byte, but actually it's just I can fix this. I can do like, because a raw string is just the data starts somewhere, so I can just do this. I can just do this, I think. So we say, because this uses the same, there's no allocations going on here, because the split lines iterator doesn't allocate. So then I can just say, how do I... Oh yeah, no. Elcar is, wait, what's... Yeah, I know it's not a string. It's just... I need the... It's the... Yeah, something like that. So I'm not inside a block. Is it running the correct? No, not that one. This one. Yeah, it's refreshed. Wait, is it the... No, it can't be the other way around, can it? I can check the source of it, but... What does this thing do? Doesn't get in there at all. Gonna throw this into a debugger instead. This is the wrong executable. Odin C bindgen. That one. No. Arguments. Oh yeah, this one is broken. If you paste in here, like you like. Can I right click and choose paste? Nope, it's just broken. Can paste. Well, I just need to type scrap anyways, so it's not a big deal. But I should update. This probably fixed already. Is that? Like that. No, what is it doing? Like that. Yes. Stop that. Run that. Now it ran. Okay. So now I can go to comment. What's it called? What is my proc called? It's called get comment. Yeah, Control V is broken. I can't use it. It's there must be a bug that's fixed. I must use the downloaded a bad version just when. What's happening? There we go. Finally. So begin is this. And we go in here and it will step backwards a few steps. And then it braked on that. That's good. We get to this. This line here is this. It has the // prefix. That means you can skip the whole line. That's good. Then we get here. There's some. Okay, yeah, that's just. So inside a block. This is just a bug in the. Not a bug, it's just interpreting it incorrectly. Should be called. Blah blah blah. Inside block. Now we start scanning the line of this block for the end. The reason I can just look for the // is because of the rules that Clang might use for this one. So how long is this? Quite long. Where am I now? Okay. Where am I now? Go to the next line instead. So we get that one. Now we're on the return line. And now we are on this line here. We are inside a block. It's like the line starts with star, blah, blah, blah. I know why it doesn't work, I think. So now it's on. I know why it doesn't work, because it gets here, but then it doesn't terminate, because when should it terminate? When should it terminate? Well, wait a minute. Can I just... I think I've overcomplicated this. I think I can just take the end here and just make a string that contains the whole thing and just check if the next line has yeah, I can make it a lot simpler. So we start at the end, and then we just check. Do like this. Like this. Num block opening. Num block openings is strings dot count cmt num block closings. It's maybe a bit less efficient, but that's fine. Then we do like this. Then we need to iterate from here. For now, the only problem is that Clang knows that this is a comment, and it gives me this. This is what it gives me, because it doesn't give me the end of it or the start of it. So it's yeah. Actually only want to check the next line. Or do I? Yes. I think so, at least. This is just me trying to get... Is there a split lines iterator? This one will split lines after. Wait, what does this do? Split the input string at every line break. Turns the current split string with line breaks included every iteration. It just adds in the line break. It doesn't matter. We can just do this. If so the next line must start with this thing, otherwise it's wrong. This is not generally true, it's just in this case because of because of how Mr. Clang works. This is not gonna work. I'm just gonna do this now. This is not gonna work in general, but okay, no. Final. The only thing we need to do is this. The only thing we need to do is this. I realized because of Clang has already done most of the work for us. We know that if these two don't match, I could just add it here if it doesn't match the number of things, but I would like to add in the stuff until there, sort of. Just move the end forward a bit. So let's do that. So we say, because this is, you know, I care about how the output looks a lot, that it looks sort of similar and is easy to look at. So that's why I go through all this pain to sort of like, oh, I want to make sure there's a space here with this thing here. So that's why I go back and forth so much on this, trying to find the best way. Like that. That's all we need to do. Because we know there's gonna be something past. Yeah, this we need to use. I know what's wrong. Wait. I think that accidentally, yeah. Yep, that's it. So now I can go back to get to where it sort of outputs this. And I can say output comment again. fg.header comment. Indentation should be \t. And then we can say indent. This is probably gonna look a bit messed up, maybe. Yep. Because it should no longer try to be smart when doing this. However, it should split the lines and add in the indentation. That's all it should do. So it should do like fp f indent, and then it should add fpfl, and then well, it can do like a line break there if it wants to. Then we delete all this stuff. So all this stuff is no longer needed, because that was just to work around. Just empty, whatever. There you go. That's what I wanted. It's indented because all this is indented. That's just the way it is. Now, there's going to be a few other places where this might be wrong. So if we now go to the Rayleigh bindings and have a look, did that just output correctly? It can't be. Oh yeah, there's some problems here. You see, slash. That's fine. That's just because we comment equals blah, 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 blah. I think it's... No, it's not that. What does this thing do? Function declaration. Then it starts scanning, blah, blah, blah. Isn't this it? Wait, why is... Oh, I know, because this is the post comment thing. Let's remove that one. I think it's no. Formatted functions. Oh, because that's inside the... this is inside the... It's the wrong one. We need to go up to... There's a few more of these. This is the bit set here. Here is 2 slashes. And I think there are some more here. There you go. Here you go. Brings along that one. Now something is terribly broken in here. Ah, it hasn't added the... And that's because of the stuff I looked at before, where there was like a +2 here. This +2 must go. Then it will pop back. Does my test program still work? Raylib test is actually my snake game. So I test my bindings with running my snake game using these. So this is runs Raylib. This I made it in a tutorial, but this runs the using the Raylib bindings from there. I think, yeah, it's very silly how the comment works. I guess you're supposed to parse the AST and not just take the comment, but parsing the AST is much harder for me because it's, well, yeah, going through the AST is much harder for me because it has, then I must understand all the different things in there, like what's a block command comment, and it has done stuff like Nah. Okay, I think that works. Let's try the box 2D bindings. See how those look. Box 2D. Box 2D looks like this. I think this is how it should look. Box 2D.h. Yeah, this looks correct. We look types.h. Types.odin in box 2D. Here is a problem. Because I don't... I can just trim the string and add the padding back on, but what if they have like... I can do this, output comment, and then I can go here, and I can be like... I can do that's gonna fix this particular issue. There you go, fixed. But what if types.h had restitution? What if it was like this? Then I think that would break it instead. You see, now that broke it. So I can't just trim the string. I can maybe trim one worth of indentation. Is that always correct? No. Maybe they wanted to have... The only way to know if it's... You can trim it if this one also had it. Then I must look at the first... So one... You can do that, but if for some silly reason this was like this, okay, specifically in this case, it will still work. But if it was like... Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. So that works. What more? Wait, did I? Was I saying something here that this is not gonna work in every case? I think I was saying something here that this is not always gonna work. Or maybe I was wrong. What if it looks like this? He's doing stupid shit now. Yeah, so that would change how it looks, but that's fine. That's just... Can't have everything. Yeah, I think that's fine. So, the box 2D bindings, do they work still? Yeah, they do. This uses the bindings that are generated, plus the raylib in vendor. Anyways. Now I'm just looking at this. I don't like this because, you know, I'm like, oh no, it goes through the whole string twice to do this kind of stuff. I guess I could just... yes, fine. I could loop over it and count them. Make a loop that loops over it and find both of them and count up 2 counters, but oh well. You probably only need to check this actually. You can just do this. If num blocks closings is not an even number, then you messed up, I think. We can go back to our scrap.h. Scrap.odin. Now that one is broken again. Okay. Shouldn't that work? Zero. Oh no, yeah, it doesn't, of course doesn't work. It's 0. It still needs to know that there is at least one of these. Like if you only have, yeah, of course that's silly of me. Why would it be like that? It's just that they're not matched up. Okay, that's that fixed. Let's push that into the code. Now we have a difference here in all the test bindings, but this is good because this means that this is in base.odin, and then we have base.h. What has changed here is that if we look at version, where is this version? Here. This one had triple slashes, so I guess it's good that we keep those. The old one didn't, because it just added in 2 double slashes manually. So now it's sort of actually more correct. See, it just does whatever the original bindings do. I have the bindings inside. Why did this change? Ah, there's a little buggerino here. Yeah, this is wrong. What's wrong here is that there's no space between the, like, well, you could argue if it should be like that or not, but there should be no space there. So we go to, that's the side comment, I think. No, post comment. I think there used to be a, there you go. Hello, Sandustry. Right. Where did all these change? How do they look in real blah 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 age? Ah, they're more correct now. Before they had, again, they're more correct. So you see, this sort of just made everything actually more correct. We can regenerate the box 2D bindings also. Also the PDF IO bindings, I guess. Okay, so we've changed that stuff, we changed that stuff. We rewrote this stuff, and we made that procedure a lot simpler. We changed that stuff. And then this fixes issue 11. Closed. Right. Here's another one that maybe I would like to fix. But let's try something else. Someone said Allegro, the Allegro library. I guess it's Polish. Someone wanted bindings for this. Let's see if we can do that easily. Is there a release with some binary files and some... I would like a release with the binaries and the headers. That's the best way to make bindings. Because you can quickly... Oh, Ming W. Oh, no. I guess we ain't doing that. We are getting the... Ming W. Oh, no. So what do we have here? How do we... I guess I can download the... When is this released? December 2024. Static libraries. Well, let's try that. Who knows? Maybe it's our lucky day. Let's take this guy. Go into here maybe. Let's go. Let's drop him straight into the bindgen folder as an example. If this works, maybe we can put... I don't have Ming W. I always use the Visual Studio. I mean, well, I only have the Visual Studio toolchain, and it's Odin doesn't even support Ming W, so yeah. I mean, Ming W is essentially trying to be, what's it called, like POSIX, some Linux style stuff on Windows, which is just, that's not the platform, so it's just pretending to be one platform on the it's a bit weird. Okay, here's stuff. Let's put that in there. Let's see what we have. We have an include folder with lots of stuff. Inline. We'll see how this goes. OpenGL, okay. Okay, let's try. We take the, let's take the Rayleigh bindgen SJSON. And we say include /allegro 5, and we just output it to our allegro. We skip all that. Inside here, maybe we have some. Wasn't I promised up static? Here they are. Wow. It's a lot of different. Why is it so many parts? I don't know. Right, so here is something that other people have been talking about that I need to fix. And it's that the include import path is messed up. Let me hack around that, and then we can add something general maybe that can work. So I think if I did this -I, what's it called? Examples allegro include. Like if I do that, then examples allegro include. No? Isn't that how you... Or is it like, does Clang have like an order to these things? Do I have to put it like over here? Or like over here? No. I thought that was how you did it. How do I... File not found. Okay. How? What am I? Because that? No. So essentially, this one is including this file. So then I need to, in my, I'm gonna do something here. Okay, let's see. Clang include direct, include path. Thanks for. You just click these things and the links doesn't work. Oh, some crap. Using the dash. Is that an I? Yes. Oh, I think I know why. Yeah, I know why. Because I moved the working directory. So it's gonna be something like this. Now it's doing something. It's doing something. It's chugging out a lot of Odin files. Okay, how does Allegro 5.odin look? It's empty. Well, that's perfect. Output folder. Hmm? WinGDI API. Interesting. Cute, it brought along the little comment. Why is all this empty? Why hasn't it managed to do anything? Huh. So this one imports everything, it looks like. Is that correct? Is that how you use the Allegros? Well, I guess not. It's not everything. There's no OpenGL stuff. We could start with that. We can change the bindgen. Let's go in here, go into, then remove that one, regenerate, go in here. I think the reason nothing appears in here is because it's skipping everything that doesn't come from this file. Allegro 5. Okay. Allegro 5 doesn't do anything. Okay, so all this stuff is in these other files. So maybe if we do that again, let's chug along for a bit. Well, if we look in Allegro Audio, yeah, here we have some stuff. Right. 1642, blah, blah, blah. Wow, what's this? Yeah, I need to remove the stuff in front. I guess this doesn't have to be added. These are good tests here. Like some of this stuff doesn't have to be added. So much of this is just AL funk. Wow. I understand why no one has made bindings for it, because it's like, look, you look at this and you're like, what's yeah. I wonder if I can make Clang parse, because all this, they seem to have built a whole library around using macros to sort of like just do stuff like this. I wonder if I can make it process macros. Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to make it do what I want it to do. Because if you look at here. We have, okay, this contains a lot of stuff because it has included many files, but you know, none of this stuff. Maybe this stuff exists in there. AL-func, what does this even do? AL-func. Allegro get standard path. What is this? What does this thing do? Type name args. Type name args. Why don't you just... Why didn't they type this? Why is there a macro that just outputs the three things and that's a function? It's just harder. Oh well. I'm like stumped why anyone would ever do that. But I mean, maybe they think it's orderly or something for the headers to have like this. But yeah. Yeah, everything is just macros. I don't know why, like, I guess if I could somehow make Clang sort of expand the macros so that it's just like, it just replaces the macro with whatever it should do. I don't know if that's possible. Because currently I was like, oh, you know, I've made binding for Rayleigh very, very nice and easy because there's almost no macros. It's like these defines here but mostly it's just struct and then procedure. This looks like a bit like someone trying to be fancy somehow. I don't know. It's just there's absolutely, I can like because all the parts of a function are there. Like I can almost like just go through and just remove these commas. There you go. And then remove this double. There's your well, there's your at first I thought it was maybe they wanted to in some platforms they redefine it to have like a funny thing in front, like an export thing, but then you could just have a macro in front of those procedures that says export, and then it's, you know, defined to nothing on a platform where it does nothing. I am not that unless I can get macros to expand somehow, that those bindings are not going to happen. And I don't see, like, if anyone makes manual bindings for them, it's essentially writing a program that is a binding generator for Allegro, because you need to expand all these ALFunc macros to something. Like, it's, yeah. I think it's reasonable to be able to generate bindings when the C code is sort of standard C. Like, this is standard C, of course, but when it's like, structs and functions and stuff. But this is, yeah. Nope. Those have to be handmade, or you write a custom generator just for that library. That's how much special stuff they seem to do. Let's try to do this stuff instead. This is something that someone, if you do this currently, I'm gonna remove that Allegro folder. But it's, it's, oh, I have it. I hate when things are locked. Like, where is it locked? Is it here? Is it because of a file I have open? Is it? It's one of these, I guess. Where am I? Here. What is locked? Okay, I think so. I think I need to restart the whole of Sublime. Then maybe. Yeah, Sublime had locked it, even though I closed all the tabs. Like that. Okay, let's try to fix that thing. Scrap. So currently it looks like this. That's not what you want. And that's because... Also, maybe I can fix another issue here while I'm at it. Bindgen Odin. If default core, like this stuff here, here, golden lion. There you go. Lumiere asks, is there any reason why you program in Windows versus Linux? I mean, I tend to I make video games sometimes, and then I tend to make them for Windows first. So then I'm on Windows. And the debuggers are better. That's mostly it. Right. So we're gonna make this look like this. That's our goal. And I know we can do that in a funny way. If we look at the scrap dump here, M21. So the finger is that this one here has a line. This one on that's after it doesn't. What do you mean autocomplete? Do you mean OLS or? I've used Linux for years and Mac OS as well, and I mean I've used all these big desktop operating systems for years on both desk and I've used Linux on servers and stuff, and I just kept coming back to like, oh, it's just for me it has just been most straightforward to be on Windows given what I sometimes need to get stuff done. See here, parse declaration. So we have a. This is record decal is a struct in the Clang ast like this, and the fields here are these guys. Well, they're these. You get one field per thing. So we have the line here, right? This line will not always have something on it. This line will not always exist. I think if it doesn't always exist, then it could be said that it's part of the previous one. So we can do this struct field, then we can say merge with previous or something funny like that. Here, merge with previous is that the field line is not okay. So the line, there was no line for this one. There is no line for this one. There's the line because this one has the line number on it. At least that's how the theory goes. Is there any better way to do that though? Let's have a look at the scrap dump. M11. M11 is here. So it's a field declaration of type float, and then after that comes another one. That has no line on it. Is that all you have to? Yeah, I guess so. Oh well. So here is my struct, and I can say formatted field. Needs to be multiple names. And then colon and F32. Huh? But no, it's 3 o'clock. It's time to end the stream. I'm gonna go make coffee instead. But I will just do something silly here probably at some point where I yeah, somehow. Golden Lion asks, are there any situations where you wish to use an engine? I mean, this stuff here doesn't have any, like this is just me making a binding generator, but I guess you mean for making video games. I mean, sometimes some prototyping is easier when you, especially if you're making 3D things, it can be easier. But I think for certain games, it's nice. You have to maybe feel what is sort of a good idea for a certain game. But anyways, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go make coffee and have a rest. Thanks for joining my funny binding generator shenanigans stream.